My dear Reverend Fathers, my dear Christians of Bota Seminary, and especially the Christians of Holy Trinity Parish in Bota, today we have yet another opportunity to continue to know our faith. During the last catechetical session that we had, we discussed at length about those who are Christ faithful. And we said that to become a member of Christ faithful, we have to receive the sacrament of baptism. And when we receive the sacrament of baptism, we become the people of God. And we mentioned that Christ faithful are the clerics and the lay faithful. The clerics will refer to the deacons, the priests, and the bishops, those who receive the sacrament of ordination. And the members of Christ's lay faithful are those who have not received the sacrament of orders. And we mentioned that from either the clerics or the lay faithful, God calls people to belong to the religious life. And during the catechetical session we had last week in Geme, we looked at the duties and the obligations of the members of Christ faithful, and also the obligations and the rights of the members of Christ lay faithful. And today, the catechetical session we are going to have is going to remind us about sacred ministers, or what we call clerics. Sacred ministers, or what we call clerics. Who are those who are clerics? Who are those who are sacred ministers? Clerics or sacred ministers are those who have received the sacrament of holy orders. And they constitute what we call in the church the hierarchy. When we talk about the hierarchy in the Catholic Church, we are referring to clerics. That is, to deacons, to priests, and to bishops. When we talk about the magisterium, we are referring to the teaching authority of the church. And when it comes to the magisterium, we are referring to the Pope and the bishops. At the beginning of our catechetical session today, we are going to focus very much on the training, on the formation of those who want to be sacred ministers, of those who want to be clerics. And according to the teachings of the church, it is the duty and the responsibility of the church to train those who want to perform sacred duties in the church. In other words, it is the duty and the responsibility of the church to make sure that they train, that they give formation to young people who have indicated that they want to be sacred ministers. The church takes up that responsibilities and make sure that it fulfills it. Yes, the church cannot form if the vocations are not there. And that is why the family becomes very important. The family, as we know, is a domestic church. It is from the family that people nurse the desire to become clerics. And when they nurse that desire to become clerics, we are told that it is important that the parents, the brothers and sisters of those families who have a young boy who has the desire to become a cleric, to encourage that person so that the person tries to develop and follows the formation that is required. It is also the duty and the responsibility of educators, those who teach. And we think about the catechists in the different parishes and mission stations, in our different small Christian communities, who have a duty and a responsibility to educate us as far as the faith is concerned. They have a duty and a responsibility to encourage vocations. We also have the priest. We have the bishop. It is all our duty and our responsibility to make sure that those who indicate that they want to join the clerical state or that they want to be sacred ministers, that they are encouraged and brought forward for formation. And it has been a long-standing tradition of the church that the church and dioceses should have what we call minor seminaries. Any diocese has the right to open a minor seminary. For a very long time, the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda was making use of Bishop Rogan College. Eventually, the Diocese of Kombo opened St. Aloysius' minor seminary. And of course, the Diocese of Mamfe opened one in Fortabong, which unfortunately is not functional because of the present crisis. So as far as the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda is concerned, we have two minor seminaries, one in Kombo and one in Boya. And the aim of the minor seminary is to help to nurture the vocation of the young boys who go to the minor seminary in order to become priests in the future. And that is why those who should be enrolled in the minor seminary in Form 1 should be those who have expressly expressed the desire that they want to become priests. Unfortunately, I doubt whether that is a reality today, because you go to Bishop Rogan College, you see an enrollment of about 400 and something young boys. The fundamental question when you talk to most of them is either my father or my mother asked me to come. And our prayer and wish is that maybe as they have gone there, within the course of time, they may develop that vocation in order to become sacred ministers in the future. Apart from the minor seminary, we also have what we call the major seminary. But we have to understand that there are some people who go to either government schools or other private colleges who may have that vocation to become priests, maybe only after they have had their ordinary level or after they have had their advanced level. Those who have that desire after they have already had the ordinary level and they want to continue formation in the minor seminary can come and do high school. Those who have the advanced level and at the same time they have that vocation, they come to Bishop Rogan College or they send them to Kitiwum in order to spend 1 year to experience the life of the minor seminary, and after that they'll decide whether they can continue there or not. I'll give a lot of examples coming from the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda, which is what concerns us. Like the candidates who finish from government or other private schools and they have their advanced level, those from Boya, those from Kumba, and those from Mamfe are sent to Kitiwum in the Diocese of Kumbu to have 1 year in the minor seminary there. And after that, if they are recommended, then they come back and the bishop will allow them to continue their formation. Those from the Archdiocese of Bamenda and those from the Diocese of Kumbu are sent to Bishop Rogan College in Small Support, so that those from the northwest area, they come to the southwest area. Those from the southwest area, they go to the northwest area in order to have a blend as far as the cultures are concerned and also to understand proper the working of the province. These students, after the advanced level, if they go to Bishop Rogan or they go to Kitiwum, and finally they are recommended to continue with their formation, will join those who succeed in the advanced level in Bishop Rogan College to go for the spiritual year. And the spiritual year takes place in Bafut. They stay there for 1 year. And after 1 year, if they are recommended, then they'll go now to the Diocese of Mamfe to begin their philosophical studies that is expected to take them 3 years. And of course, when they finish 3 years in St. John Paul II Major Seminary in Bajontai, in the Diocese of Mamfe, then if they are recommended, they go for what we call pastoral year. They send them either to a parish or to an institution so that they can have a year to put into practice what they have been studying in the seminary. And at the same time, they have a year to also interact with the community so that the community can be able to see their own ways of living. And of course, it is expected that if they are sent, they should be sent to responsible priests who can be of good example to them by their word and their deeds, so that these young men could be able to pick up some good qualities from them, and at the same time, these young men should be able to continue to embrace their call. After 1 year of their pastoral year, if they are recommended to go back to the seminary, then the bishop sends them out to St. Thomas Aquinas' Major Seminary in Bambui. And when they go to Bambui, they have 4 years to finish with their theology. They do first year theology, then second year's theology. At the beginning of the second year of theology, those who are recommended are installed and they are made lectors, which means readers in the church. It is only at that time that they can read officially in the church as lectors. When they go to third year of theology, they apply to be made acolytes. Acolytes are altar boys. So officially, the bishop too installs them as acolytes. And at that time, they can serve during Mass. And it's at the end of their 3 years studies that they make the application to become clerics, that is deacons. And when they make that application to become clerics, If the bishop accepts the application upon recommendation of those who are in charge with their formation, then they are given the opportunity to be able to pursue their preparations, and their bands are called towards the diaconate ordination. And it is when they are ordained deacons that they become clerics. So, if we look therefore at the program of the formation of the clerics, what has to be done before they finally become clerics, it presupposes that they should have the advanced level. They must have the advanced level like any other young Cameroonian. It presupposes that they must have also done the philosophical studies of 3 years. That they must have had 1 year of pastoral experience. And that they must have had 3 years of theology before they are made deacons at the end of the 3rd year. Then the 4th year, they finish with their formation and they are made priests. They are ordained priests. Now, each diocese can have a major seminary, just as dioceses can come together to have an interdiocesan seminary. If you look at the case that we have, the seminaries, we have 2 major seminaries, one in Mamfe only for philosophy, the other one in Bamenda only for theology. Before, it was just one seminary that did the philosophy and the theology. In our days, we just went to Bambwe. But now with the increase in the number of students, because of the prayers we make for more vocations, there was a need to open another seminary, and the philosophy department was sent to that seminary in Bachontai in the Diocese of Mamfe. Now, as far as the seminary is concerned, we have to note that the person that takes care of the day-to-day running of the seminary is the rector of the seminary. That is why we talk about the rector of Bishop Rogan College. We don't talk about the principal of Bishop Rogan College. We talk about the rector of the minor seminary, Bishop Rogan. And of course, in the major seminary, we have the rector, you have the vice rector, you have a priest who is in charge of financial administration, you have the other fathers who are appointed to work in the seminary, and all these other fathers are referred to as formators. They are people who are supposed to help to form the young boys who have gone to the seminary in order to be prepared by the church so that tomorrow they can become clerics. Also, within the context of the seminary, it is also important for us to note that there is always a spiritual director in the seminary that is appointed officially to take care of the spiritual needs of the seminarians. There may be 1, there may be 2, there may be 3. It can be any number depending on the number of seminarians who are there. And the work of the spiritual director is to help and to accompany the seminarians as far as their vocation is concerned. And before they make any application to advance, as far as the journey to the priesthood is concerned, it must be in consultation with their vocation, their spiritual director. And the spiritual director is their confessor, which means that they go to confession to the spiritual director. And at the same time, there are possibilities that the seminary may also get other confessors from outside to come and join with the confessor in the seminary in order to facilitate the seminarians to be able to have the opportunity to go to the sacrament of reconciliation. And as far as the spiritual director is concerned, since it deals with matters in the internal forum, when they are deciding about the future of the young seminarian, the spiritual director doesn't take part in the meetings that are called, and the formators have to decide or to reflect about the life of any of the seminarian. And why is the spiritual director not part of it? Because he knows the seminarians more than the other formators, because they come to him, they open their hearts to him, they share things with him that they will not share with any other formator in order for him to give guidance. So if he were to be part of this meeting, that they are deciding whether this candidate should be ordained or they should not be ordained, then it will not be proper, because he may give out information that is from the internal forum. And that is why the spiritual directors do not become part and parcel of this.